Okay, so next I'd like to introduce Antonella Napolitano. She's been a leadership team member in the GSMA Rich Communication Ecosystem and also OMA Vice Chair for Release Planning Group this year. But in the past she's also been working a lot in the GSMA RCS activity, and she is Vice President of R&D in Market Deployment and Business Innovation.
Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Antonella Napolitano, work for Telecom Italia, and what I would like to do today is just to present some update regarding the RCS initiative, mainly from the market perspective, let me say. Okay, for those that doesn't know RCS, okay, I briefly introduce it. RCS is a new cross-operator standardized communication service. You can also see here the brand that has been adopted for RCS, that is joyn. So joyn is a brand to identify and to promote RCS service. And you can see here also the different instances of RCS. But let me say that the initial set of services are divided in three different areas. One is the rich call, that means the enrichment of the call with sharing picture and different content, and file transfer, and the most important one from my perspective is the instant messaging, that is divided in chat one-to-one and one-to-many. Another important feature for RCS is the capability discovery that allows the customer to easily understand which type of communication are possible within going in the address book and selected a specific contact. Why RCS is so special? What about RCS? It's not about services, because services, let me know, are quite common. There are many solutions in place in the market, but it's not about the services, but it's about how we are bringing them to the market. And we are using two different sentences to describe RCS that is just there. So it's natively integrated by OEM in the device, and is voice and SMS, and these automatic service discoveries as I described. So the customer doesn't need to do anything at all, just to use the address book, and everything is happening automatically without any further action from the customer perspective. And the other most important thing is that it's just work. So it's dynamic capability discovery. So only relevant and available services offered are shown in the address book. And the other point is that is guaranteed interworking across operator and devices. So it's quite similar. So this is the idea, is to provide something that is similar to SMS and voice. So let me explain a little bit more what is the power of is just there. So whenever you are the customer is using an over-the-top service, it requires a multi-step approach, while RCS is intuitive placement and automatic service discovery. So when are you using the over-the-top application, you have to enter the application store. You have to search for the application. Sometimes you have to pay for the application, and you have downloaded, install it. And you have to enter account information. The other most important thing is that you don't have a single application that provides all set of services. You have different services, different applications, each application for each service. But the most important thing is that sometimes the privacy is not offered, not even, the reliability, and these, I think, that are, typical features that the operators are offering. Now I would like, to explain, which are the main feature of the operator communication world on one side and internet-based communication world on the other side. Okay, the operator communication world is based on core communication services, highly interoperable, reliable customer relationship, and direct service monetization, at least up to now. On the other hand, we have, the internet-based communication world that is mainly an innovative communication service. It's community-based. It's a best effort service principle, and usually is an indirect or no monetization at all. So joyn has been designed to retain relevance for operators as a core communication provider to compensate revenue decline by increasing the customer value. So this is why, we are working on RCS. And how you can see, these two different words are not so different today is because they are penetrated in each other, so they are overlapping in some respect. So they are not two separate words any longer. And now I would like to give an overview about the instant messaging trend. So hyper-connected customer using instant messaging, social network, and mail on mobile devices are rising 175% year over year and represent 3.5% of the global market. And messaging and social network applications are on top of downloads from application stores, and it's forecasted that more than 80 million European mobile consumers will use mobile instant messaging by 2013. Going in more detail, I've selected two use cases. One is from SKT that has been described with the previous speech, where the SMS usage down by 40% and revenue down by 28% in 1 year. And on the other hand, Kakao exceed SMS in 18 months. The other use case that I selected is KPN and WhatsApp specifically. So WhatsApp penetrates 50-70% of the youth customer base, while SMS usage down 16% year over year in Q2 11. And which are the factors that contributed to this area are availability of alternative services and platforms such as smartphone to support those services, and availability of mobile high-speed data rate, and a generous price plan which allow data all-you-can-eat services. And this phenomenon is going to be much more bigger when we are going towards LTE technology. So this is just the start of the story, the beginning of the story. So which are the RCS opportunity for operators? The idea is to meet with RCS, we would like to meet customer need to remain the communication provider and to achieve a sustainable position in IP communication, reinvigorating core service product innovation and leveraging operator value proposition like ubiquity and reach. Mobile operator can penetrate the high-end and mass market due to the unique strength of ubiquity at interconnected networks. So the mobile operator key value are interconnected networks reach, customer opt-out, product and platform independent, and services universal. While the over-the-top limitation are community limited reach, customer opt-in, product and platform specific, and services a differentiator. I mentioned many times that one of the must for RCS is to go for embedded solution. So we are working with OEM to have integrated solution and optimize user interface in each handset. But obviously this requires OEM engagement, and sometimes is a slow renewal of installed base. Due to this fact, we also decided, as a RCS, to work on a downloadable application, at least as a short-term complement that makes service available for not native devices, and immediate coverage of installed base and legacy phones. So at the moment, there are many downloadable applications already available, made available from several developers for iPhone and Android and tablets. But within GSMA, we also work to a process that is called One Application that will make available to all operators RCS generic application for top mobile operating system. And this is, the vendors has been already selected, and the solution is also available, is already available, and also has been used and in Spain for the first launch of the service. Perhaps you are all aware that Telefonica and Vodafone has already launched this service. Which are the focus areas where we are working on? These are establishing joyn as a widely accepted industry and consumer service mark, offering interoperability between different devices and different operator networks, maintaining a feature roadmap that keeps rich communication competitive for operators and identifying specifications to support these features, ensuring interoperability testing framework to support network accreditation, device certification, and service interworking. And we are also continuing to work with the OEM community to ensure wide commercial availability of rich communication embedded into a whole range of devices, smartphone and feature phones, available for operators and also from the open market. And finally, it's to stimulate the formation of ecosystem to drive innovation by defining and making available a standardized set of API which allow RCS to become a platform of innovative service creating for both operator and the third-party ecosystem. And regarding this last point, we have done a lot of work here in OMA to standardize a set of API for RCS. And API approach is an important approach to expand capability and to enable a new business model, to provide also a mechanism to differentiated services, and the most important thing is to reduce the time to market for innovation. Because obviously, defining new feature, it takes time if we would like to provide something that is really interoperable. So with API, we are facilitating the innovation, and we are also trying to meet the market needs in a short time. Okay, going to the instant messaging and file transfer. So the first multi-operator instant messaging, RCS is the first multi-operator instant messaging embedded into the mobile devices with no account setup, available also in a PC. So not only for mobile phone, but also extendable to a PC access. And here you can see that with the group chat, you can add a new participant to the chat. You have a message delivered and displayed. You have a photo with no restriction that can be exchanged and make available to the chat and the group chat, and the message received, and also information about that the other party is typing a message. So we have defined this chat in order to be appealing for the customer and to be comparable with the current services that are on the market. And as I said, it's not available only for embedded solution, but also for the downloadable for Android, and in the future for iPhone. We are working on that, and for a PC. Okay, I don't like to repeat that. Yeah, here you can see that together with the feature in the chat, we also have an additional feature that is the share of the position that can be done with the file transfer as well. So it's another application that comes with the chat and the multi-chat, so the push location together with the chat. I have some trouble. Okay, now I would like to briefly focus in on the specification. This is the latest version of RCS specification, but obviously I would like to draw your attention also only on the messaging component. And just, from industry, the industry proposition was starting from traditional services, that is voice and video call and messaging, and on top of that had new services, trying to expanding the communication stack in the IP communication. That means instant messaging, file transfer, and all other services that can be designed. Here you can see a list of features related to the messaging. There are a quite rich service, let me say. I wouldn't like to go through all this list, but it's available in the presentation. Just to show that, it's a real rich service. It's not a very basic service as was intended at the very beginning. Okay, here you can have more detailed information about the messaging description and evolution. So you have a chat that to deploy the chat, to develop the chat. The technology that has been used is the OMA IM, that is the enabler from OMA, without any change. We have another feature that is the message order. It is a set of procedures to make sure that the messages can be displayed in the right order within a chat window, independently of whether the message has been stored and forwarded. We have a group chat. And again, even for the group chat, the technology uses OMA-IM. And we have a group chat evolution that introduced the necessary procedures to guarantee group chat continuity and availability even when the user is offline. So it's a sort of permanent chat that is going to be realized. And the store and forward is involved. Delivery and display notification should not only be used for a one-to-one, but also in a group chat. And there is also a file transfer that is happening during the chat. That is an improvement of existing file transfer within a group chat, where the sender takes the responsibility to assess one of the participants to distribute a file among the other participants, avoiding to have, many transfer end-to-end. Okay, message order is also applicable to the group chat. Here, there is some enhancement that is going to happening according to the latest version of the specification. So in addition of OMA IM based, some of the procedures of OMA CPM are added to complete the service and to provide to the end user. We have a central storage of messages, so the ability to store all groups chat conversation in a central service, allowing any authenticated device and client to access to them. And we have a chat history synchronization that allows a device and client to be synchronized, the chat history with the central storage before initiating the chat on a regular basis. The file transfer, again, the basic technology is the OMA-IM, and the file transfer resume to allow, both sender and the receiver to pause and to resume the file transfer. And we also have a blacklist. And I also added the location because, as I showed, the location, the push location is taking place together with the chat. Okay, I already explained, the message order. Here you can find some more detailed information. And chat evolution, as I said, the group chat functionality is extended to improve the perception of continuity and stability. And the messages will be delivered or stored from the moment a user is invited to the moment they manually exit, regardless that they are online or offline. Okay, this shows, what are our expectations regarding the user experience. So we are also within a GSMA, within a RCS project, describing in a detailed mode what we would like to achieve from user perspective, from user interface perspective. So the requirements is that the chat session creation with multiple participants should be an easy and fast process. And so we are requiring a specific key touch in order to have this happening. And so you can see here how this can happen. The other characteristic is also to add a subject to the chat that is also used as the name of the group chat. And again, this is the requirements that we are providing to OEM in order to have, a common solution in order to facilitate, also the usage from the user perspective. Okay, here is described that we have 3 different types of messaging. The standalone messaging service that is based on CPM, that can be seen as an evolution of SMS and MMS, and also allow interworking with SMS and MMS. On the other hand, we are working on additional feature, reusing the Oman Simple IM protocol that is divided into that provides 3 different modes that are pager mode for brief message exchange with the acknowledgement, large mode that is used mainly for multimedia content, and IM session mode that is similar to a conference hosted by the network. And to do that, we are expanding in some respect the Simple IM protocol in order to accommodate these new features. So we have moved from Simple IM 1.0, defining it 2.0, and now 2.1, in order to mainly include the storing forward, display notification, and group chat enhancement like blacklist, storing forward for involuntary leaving session devices, and closed user group, and so on. And finally, I already described, you can find here more information about OMA CPM message store that is used for 2 purposes: long-term permanent storage backup for messages that the user wishes to store, and temporary storage for sent and received messages in order to allow synchronization with devices. And finally, just to recap, the relationship with messaging and with the OMA, we have some activities going on for focused on RCS that are on one side, as I said, focused on API, and we have a chat API that has been approved recently, and we have a new profile of RESTful network API focused on RCS specifically. And on the other hand, we have a couple of widgets that are focused on messaging. And as I said, they are accommodating the complete set of feature and richness of from the service perspective used for RCS, that are from one side Simple IM, and from the other side is a CPM message. And that's conclude my presentation, mainly if I don't have more time to go to this one. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Antonella, for an interesting presentation about the current RCS and the developments which are taking place. I think you made one quite interesting point, which is about the standards world. The standards world and the telco world are somehow related in that they are admittedly a bit slower than the over-the-top approaches, but they are more reliable, and they do aim to have a universal reach. Another point I think you made that was important is that the basic RCS, as delivered, can be quickly enhanced if you deploy APIs, and those APIs enable further innovation on the base level that can be universal. So we just got time for one quick question, if there is one. Okay, Jaffa?
Okay, we are part of the operators that were promoting RCS from the very beginning, and we are still engaged in these activities. So we are planning to launch the service end of this year, beginning of next year. But we are looking, for a solution that is real reliable and with the high quality, as we said. So we are working hard in order to have this happening soon.
Okay, thanks again, Antonella.
Hey.
Oh, one quick question.
So page 9. Actually, this is not question, so this is some suggestion. Go to page 9, please.
There's no page.
Yeah, this is a good view. What is a key value and the limitation? But when I see the over-the-top messaging, they are trying to overcome their limitation now. So what I suggest is that mobile operators also have some limitation. So we have to identify what is our limitation, and we try to overcome the operator and telecommunication domain, the limitation. So here you just mentioned the OTT limitation, but they are trying to overcome this limitation. So they are governing and ruling this market now. So this is a suggestion. So we need to check this one.
Yeah, we can, easily identify the limitation from operator perspective. One is that we are slow because we are rely on a standard solution. That means it takes time in order to have that in place. So this is the first limitation. And the other limitation is that in order to have the service just there and easy to be used, because the idea is to reach all the customer base. That means not only the customer that are smart enough to go to the Apple Store or to download it, to install it, but to reach all the community, even, my mom, my grandmother, and so on. And to do that, we have to work tightly with OEM. And as I said, it's not an easy task to be achieved, because obviously to have, embedded solution, it costs time, and we also have, rely on as I said, interoperability, and so we have to run a lot of interoperability tests in order to make it the service available across networks. So this is our power on one side, but also our limitation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.